Have you ever wanted to book us for an appearance or a speaking engagement? You get Daryl, Granny, Gatebart. Well, you can do that now from our friends at Engage. We'll put the link below. They can get you booked up whether you want us to come to your school to talk to your FFA chapter or if you need us to come to speak to a group. They will help get that done. People have asked us for years, how can we book with y'all? And you can do that at Engage. Well, how was your
Do
week?
it.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. Book us.
Yeah, book us.
We don't mind coming to you to a city near you.
Coming to a city near you.
I'd say a school. I like schools.
I do like
Talking
schools.
with
Yeah.
kids.
That's fun.
It is.
They always
fun.
have good stories.
Well,
and stuff
like,
to say.
and people also do like we love that you guys stand. You know, whether it's our faith, talk about our family, talk about farming,
patriotism,
our freedom.
Yeah,
we're willing to talk about whatever. So check us out. We'll put that link below, right, Connor? Put it down below. Okay, and in the video too. But anyway, we have another S&C this week.
Yep.
And I know you said you've been sitting on this one for a while. You want to talk about it, and it's something very, it goes along with it's dark, it's demented.
You could say that a little bit. I mean, it is. I was gonna say dementia, but it's the definition of dementia.
Grandma would agree. Granny would agree. Dementia is this too.
That's true. Yeah, it is.
It is. If anybody's ever experienced that too, yeah, it really is this. So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, I was gonna ask you a question. And I was gonna ask you a question out there.
Okay.
Do you believe in the devil?
Oh yeah.
You do. You do believe in the devil?
Well, without it, there can't be a heaven without a hell.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen what's going on in the world right now, but I believe that's the devil at work.
Oh, yeah. The devil's definitely out there.
He's not hiding anymore.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
The window's moved so far that people are just out there in the open.
I mean, it's literally in like everything we do too, whether it's political or whether it's just on social media, in our daily lives where we shop.
Yeah.
Like the devil is alive right now. Like it's probably the most, I don't know if because we're older now, but I feel like it's the loudest I feel like he's been in my lifetime.
Yeah, there's so many examples of it. Like even have you heard of, there was like a satanic after school club at some school, like an elementary school?
Like recently?
Yeah, very recently.
So I remember like the Dungeons and Dragons days in the 80s and there was that mass hysteria back then.
Yeah, the satanic panic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, when people wouldn't let their kids play. I think that was a little overhyped in some ways, but also they were also like, oh, there's satanic cults out there everywhere. I think there's a little bit to that, I heard a story the other day about one in Utah. So,
yeah, dude. I mean, we can go there, but like you said, it's not even hiding anymore.
No, it's right there.
We said, okay, we got to reference something going on in the world too. Me and him have never seen this so-called Demons by Doja Cat, so we pulled up the clip real quick. And
I've seen a picture, but I haven't seen the actual video.
And this is literally like the beginning of this. I'll just turn it this way. That does not look too good. So me and Jerry are just going to watch a quick snippet because they may do some cuss. We have to blur it out.
Good. They look like they're in like an attic or something.
Okay, I'm done. I don't need to see.
Yeah, I'm already going to have nightmares.
That like literally give me anxiety watching that.
Yeah, it makes you feel something and not something good.
She's dressed... Like you'll see up there on the screen, she's dressed like a demon.
Yeah,
the song's called Demons, and
what makes me think is like, okay, when they're like, okay, we're gonna write this song and it's gonna be called Demons, and for the music video, we're gonna dress like demons and crawl around like demons. I heard something one day. It's like you can't pretend that stuff. Like you can't fake that stuff. If you're gonna do it, you're doing it.
Well, it's out there so openly too. They're not hiding it anymore.
No.
Like that's blatantly Doja Cat's coming off as like he's the devil cat. Like, there's no Doja in that.
For real.
And then it's like Sam Smith at the Grammys last year.
The devil costume.
I mean, Lil Nas X in his video a couple of years back. And I know we sound so old right now.
I know.
We sound so old right now.
We outlived our time, brother.
But it is that blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's that old saying? They said the best trick.
Oh, I wrote it down.
Right down.
Okay.
Yeah, what's that saying?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
He doesn't exist. And right now, it seems like a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And there's lots of believers out there who believe in God.
Yeah. I've talked to people who they're like, oh, I believe there's a God. They might not be religious in any really way, but they believe there's a God. But they don't believe there's a devil. Makes me think, do you not see the devil? Like, there's obviously the devil.
You can't have good without evil.
That makes me think of, what's that? I think it's a law of something. It's a law of something. It's like, for every force, there's like an equal and opposite force.
The law of, it's one of Isaac's.
Yeah, I think so. But it kind of makes me.
Law of gravity. Is there a law of?
I can't remember. It's a Newton or somebody. You look it up.
I don't want people thinking we're dumb. So, but yeah, you keep.
But that's what I think. Like,
every reaction, for every action.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I remembered it. I don't remember. I think it's Newton or something.
Newton's third law.
Newton's third law. Okay, see, we were on track. We were right there. Yeah. But it makes me think like we obviously we believe in God, and we believe that God is an almighty force who's out there who created all of this, and He's a force for good.
Yeah.
And everything that He does, everything that He's created, and I believe that there's a force that's not good.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's Lucifer. That's the devil. It's Satan. However you want to say it.
Referred to him as.
And people like to think, like cartoons and all this stuff. He's always been pictured with like horns, and like the tail and a pitchfork and all the red skin.
I think he's scarier than that.
I think he's scarier than that because he could be. I don't think he looks anything like that.
No.
I don't think. But
there's another thing about the devil in disguise too.
Yeah.
Like the devil will portray as this angelic figure being when he's on earthly terms. Now we're getting into this is where people may turn on and go, oh, they're hocus pocus or conspiracy theorists, whatever. But in reality, if you listen, I remember one time you showed me a podcast. It was and we're not even Catholic, but it was from a Catholic exorcist. And he was explaining to Michael Knowles about like his experience. He interacted with the devil, and the devil looks suave and handsome. And he said it is the presence you feel of the devil when you know it.
Yeah.
There's no hiding that.
It's just like darkness embodied.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we were just talking about watching that video. You kind of get a taste of that watching that video. You just feel the darkness coming from it. And I don't, you're getting goosebumps just thinking about this.
I think I don't fear the devil. I do not.
No.
But knowing that it's just in our lives and everything, that's what we're always trying to fight.
We're raising kids in this world where literally the devil is just out in the open, showing his face and showing what he can do. Yeah. And that's why we have our faith, because that's what you were saying. We're not afraid of the devil.
Well, there's so many distractions going on in the world too that you almost get so distracted that you don't even realize he's there.
Yeah.
But he's in so much. He's in our social media, like we were saying, our music, movies. He's in the schools.
Hey, that made me think of something I heard, actually. Alice Cooper?
Yeah.
I've heard that he's like a devout Christian.
Oh, yeah, major. No.
And he said something, he said this quote, what was it? He said that, the devil doesn't get to have all the good music.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty good, because they always said Lucifer's he was a singer, like one of the angels. He was had a beautiful voice or something.
Yeah.
And you see that in music these days too. Like forever though too, is a lot of Satan's stuff is pushed through music.
Yeah. 100%.
And it makes sense being that in the Bible it says that he was, I can't remember the verse. I'm no theologian, but I know in there it says something about him being like a good singer or something. And that makes you a connection with music these days and 100%. All days.
Yeah, and the other day, I believe I heard somebody else mention, it wasn't Alice Cooper, but they said the same way, and that's why they're trying to fight. They're trying to fight it through their worship music, because worship and then music like that, it's they're intertwined. They're it's just like how good and evil work.
Yeah,
they're intertwined together, but they are two separate things as well.
Yeah, and
worship music can be treated as a way to combat that. Yeah, the soul, and people talk about getting the depth of the soul of a songwriter.
Yeah,
that's sometimes what comes out as
sometimes it's dark.
It is dark,
sometimes
and
it's
twisted. And
sometimes it's Christ.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's good. And I think there's right now the most popular, I believe, Christian singers was somebody who was in a major band a couple of years ago. He's blowing it up, and he's like the number one. He just saw a few music videos. If I can't remember, I'll have Connor throw it up right now.
Do you know who he's talking about?
I can't think of it, but he was all over my TikTok for a few weeks, and that's really cool to see that transition. People really come saying, you know what, enough's enough. Like that line we talked about a couple weeks ago. He's like, that's enough's enough. There was a guy from Pentatonics, who was their bass in the group, and then he left, for a lot of the similar reasons. You hear John Rich talk about it from like Nashville, how like there's Satan is so
It's even
alive.
like country music too. You know, you
Yes.
think, well, you think about that too, like the devil in country music. Country music's all about girls and drinking beer and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's just another form.
Yeah, another form of sin.
Yeah.
Like how it gets portrayed a lot. But I mean, again,
It might not be quite as explicit as dressing up as the demon and crawling around on the floor,
yeah.
but it's not right.
Dude,
honestly,
right
with
now,
Christ.
I feel like we sound like Bob Boucher's mama.
Yeah.
Country music, that's the devil.
Because little girls are the devil.
That's the devil.
Oh goodness, those books, they're the devil. Burn them.
Ben Franklin is the devil.
Like,
It
we're like
is-
the Footloose parents.
It is funny. It's like everything is the devil. It's kind of hard to like find that line.
Yeah.
I think that's why we have the Bible, is to help us stay on that line, you know, like where we need to go.
It's our guide, I believe, and I've heard a lot of people say it's our guide, it's our reference to heaven. You know, the thing, it's our map. You know, like an atlas in a way. If we were traveling a windy road, life and as a roller coaster, and that's like the ultimate atlas for life. And I'm reading a really good book right now. I can tell you, it's called how do I say, Becoming a King. Is a really good book.
Okay.
And I'm almost finished with it, but it just talks about like that life, that path, but it's like to masculinity too. Yeah, and the Bible is just a great point. I mean, Granger talks about it in his book.
Yeah.
So many people reference like ultimately when you're in times of need or trouble, we go back
Yeah,
to that.
this is your anchor. I got a verse.
I
for
know you got
today.
a verse
Yeah.
tonight. So what do you have for us? Today?
It's from Ephesians. It's put on the whole armor of God. I'm sure you've heard that, but I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. It says, put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark place, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. It said, this is our armor. This is our armor. You know, like we have to stand up against the evil that's out there. What does it say? All the strategies of the devil.
Yeah.
He's got many strategies.
Yeah, he's coming at us from every angle. Like you said, political to even, just
Cultural.
cultural to even in the house.
Yeah.
You know, there was a big attack on the nuclear family for a reason because
Oh, yeah.
they say, oh, take the dad, take the mom.
Yep.
We don't.
It's a great way to destroy families, destroy society, and the devil wins. I you know what it is? It's like, to kind of simplify it, I guess, is the devil was kicked out of heaven, and him and the angels that went with him that are now demons, pretty much. So they are jealous. Doja Cat, demon cat. They're jealous of God's love for us. You know, he created humans to love him, and the devil is, so he pretty much just like benefits off of our suffering, no matter what it is.
Because he knows where he's doing what he's been trying to do is turn us away from God.
He's pretty much jealous, honestly. The devil's jealous
And he
of
thinks
how
he's
much
gonna win.
God loves us.
And what's so great about this story, now we've talked, it's been very kind of like, dark. The best thing about the story is knowing that God wins in the end.
Yeah,
We
just
already
think
know
about
how this
Christ.
ends. I already know how this ends.
Yeah.
God wins. And no matter how how many times he tries to do all these different strategies and he thinks he's going to change the final result, he's not.
No,
And
he had the plot. And it's like, oh, God sent Jesus, I'm going to kill him. It worked out pretty well for us, I'd say. You know, It sucked at the time, for all the followers and stuff, but that was God's plan. He knew what the devil was going to do, but it, like you said, it works out. As bad as it may get, as bad as it may seem, it works out in the end because we've got God on our side.
100%.
We've got this book
And
on
then
our side.
you mentioned, for a second there, I was like, he's talking about followers. I'm like, wait, is he talking about ever since we started talking about our faith more free? Like, it's kind of like, it's so weird when you do, like, you're fighting off and you see all that resistance from the devil. Like, when you start presenting God's way of life and God's picture, you see so much resistance. And we've seen it in our own space of social media and even in agriculture and in farming. Like, there's so many negative people, negative just comments, no matter what it is, because we're honestly we're fighting the devil.
Yeah.
And those people, they can't see it, and that's fine.
They might not have a clue. They
No
might just
clue.
not like us.
And it might not like us, might not believe in anything.
Yeah,
But
they might not believe in the devil, like I asked to open up.
yeah, and so if you don't believe in the devil, my biggest thing to you is like, if you can really look at, people always go, if there was a God, why would all this bad be going on in the world? Why would he let this happen?
Yeah, that's a much deeper question too.
It's
though.
a very deep question. Joe Rogan asked that to,
Yeah.
to the guy who came on that day.
I think he said something about it being free will. You know,
Yeah,
if we
'cause
if
he gave us
if
free
nothing
will.
bad happened, we would be slaves to
Yeah.
God, and he doesn't want that.
He gave us free will, but that's a question. It's like, well, the devil's on lots of this stuff that people claim
Oh yeah,
to be so bad.
and the devil like portrays himself as God sometimes.
Yeah.
People like cults and stuff. Like people are like, oh, God told me this, God told me that, God told me we need to start doing this. I don't think that was God.
Yeah,
When you're sleeping with other people's wives.
down in Waco, you mean?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
crash?
Yeah, and you start doing stuff like that, that ain't God. That's not my God.
No, it's not. And that's where, I think ultimately we just got to, once you realize that the devil is present, he's in this world, he's going to throw everything he can at you too to get you away from that. And then there's those moments in life where you've probably slipped out of your faith. I know I have.
Yeah.
I know you have.
It's
Like,
hard not to.
The
You're
devil's
human.
temptations come and get you, but you work your way back. And then he always comes at you more. And it feels like those are the moments where you're like, some people like give up and like, oh, I can't. But really just double down on your faith, double down on your beliefs, and double down knowing that God's got your back. That's the best advice I give anybody.
Yeah, just find God.
Especially if they're stressing about what's going on right now in the world. Like we said, whether it's these crazy videos or something going on outside of our borders, anything. Aliens.
Yeah. Aliens.
Aliens.
You mean demons? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm still open. Like, who knows?
You're an open book.
I've still got questions.
Yeah, well, we all got questions.
I probably won't get answered until I get to meet God.
Yeah, which that's fine.
That's okay. I can live with that. I'm going to take care of my family and my friends and my country and do what I can where I'm at
Well, you can.
until then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let the devil,
Don't let him win.
I'm not going to let him win.
You ain't winning this time, devil. Sorry about you, buddy. And you all don't let the devil win in your day-to-day life either.
Say, get behind me, Satan.
There's some good songs. Like I remember there's one like growing up. There's something about like
There is a song
Yeah.
about get behind me, Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot
I
how it
can't
goes.
remember either. I just heard it the other day, too.
Yeah, we won't go singing
Yeah.
to y'all tonight, but yeah, so he might come in if we start singing.
Yeah. He is the angel of music or whatever.
Well, thank y'all for paying attention to us talking about the devil tonight. I know
Yeah.
that's kind of a scary topic.
Don't be
to get
too
into,
scared.
but at the end of the day, you have to talk about these things
Yeah.
and let people know.
Or else people won't know because that's the greatest trick you ever pulled.
Yeah, so we will not while we're alive, we won't let his existence disappear
Nope.
in mankind. But who knows? And he may try to come take us out one day.
He probably already has. Maybe he's failed, though, because God's with us.
That's right. And if God's with you, who can be against you?
Exactly.
Amen.
You guys have a great week.
And God bless y'all.